That was 2 sheets of the Pillsbury Doughboy chocolate chip cookie dough, and it is nice and softened. So I'm just gonna take my hands and start pressing this down, kind of avoiding the edges a little bit because I want my next ingredient to really hit up those edges, and I want the cookie dough to stay pretty confined to the center. We're just looking to leave where like the crust area would be nice and bare. Next, I have everyone's favorite, some big old Reese's peanut butter cups, and I'm just gonna start laying these evenly distributed throughout our baking dish. We should have enough to use every single one of these, and I'm just spacing them out about where I assume people will cut their own slice. Just so everybody has one per slice. We don't want anybody to get any extra love, even though I'm sure they would love that. We just want to make sure that everyone gets their fair share of Reese's peanut butter cups. Next up, we have some chewy fudge brownie mix, and this is why we left those edges nice and bare, because I want the brownie mix to be on the edges. So I'm gonna put it everywhere, but I just want to make sure that it's able to soak down into those edges as it bakes. It's a little bit thick because we've got that chewy fudge goodness, so it is a little bit thick. You're gonna have to be a little bit patient with your spreading when using this, but don't skimp on the chewy fudge. I know the other ones might be a little bit easier to work with, but the chewy fudge does make all the difference in texture and flavor, so I do promise you it is worth it. All right, once all that is spread out to the best of your ability, don't stress about it too much. Like I said, it is gonna spread a little bit more as it melts down in your oven. Just give it as much of a spread as you possibly can. Then I have some mini Oreos. Have you ever seen mini Oreos?
They're so tiny.
Look at how tiny, and I'm gonna-
Kind of like Ritz Bits.
Kind of like Ritz Bits, and I'm gonna give these a little bit of a crumble first for that first layer. Just crumbling them up with my hands. Now you could use like if you're worried about getting your hands in there, you can just use like a plastic bag and a mallet or a rolling pin to crack them up. But my hands are nice and clean, so I'm just gonna use those. And now that I've got some good crumbles on there, I'm just gonna go in with some whole ones. Ooh, this is looking good. Now remember, they are sticking a little bit to that brownie mix, so just use your fingers, pick them out, spread them out as much as you can, just so every little side, corner, and piece has a few of those Oreos. I'm just gonna press them down because I do wanna make sure that they stick into that brownie batter, just so when everybody's cutting into it, nothing falls out. And now I like to add not only a little bit of crunch, but a little bit of saltiness. So I just have some leftover pretzel sticks from something I was making earlier. So I'm just gonna take these and start crushing them up a little bit, just to get a good pretzel crust right on top. This is optional because I do like the salty and the crunch on top, but if you want just the ooey gooey chocolatey flavor, that is totally fine. But if you do want to add this and you don't have pretzel sticks, you can use really any kind of pretzel that you want. You can use the little twisted ones, anything you're feeling. Oh, and if you don't want to use pretzels, I also feel like a nice little salted nut would taste really good on this, like a salted walnut or some peanuts, some cashews. Anything salty and crunchy, I think would just add the perfect salty crunch to this dish. Now that we have all of our ingredients into our baking dish, I'm gonna take this over to our oven. I have it preheated to 350 degrees. That's about halfway between what the cookies and what the brownies recommend. So we're just gonna keep an eye on this until that brownie mix is fully cooked. Oh, come on. Look at how good that looks. Let's see, are those brownies cooked to perfection? Can we cut all the way through? Oh, yeah, we can. Look at that, a good corner piece. Should we see if it comes out clean? 1, 2.
Oh, it's perfect.
Couldn't get any better than that. Look at that, you see that cookie at the bottom?
And you get the little salty with the pretzels.
Ooh, a little salt with the pretzel. A little flaky sea salt on top would probably be really good too. And then of course, you can't have a dessert casserole without a healthy scoop of vanilla bean ice cream. Look at this, you guys. This is gonna have your guests' mouths absolutely watering.